In this video, I'll tell you about NVIDIA RTX 3070 laptop. I'll compare this GPU to other GPUs and PS5. Tell you whether it's worth buying or not. Without further ado, let's get into it. RTX 3070 laptop in comparison to the original version has got 15% less CUDAs, TMUs and other cores, as well as 10% decreased clock speed, making it much closer to RTX 3060 Ti. The fact that the GPU has got 8 gigs of VRAM means that it's possible to play most of the games in 2025. I want to test this GPU in the post-generation games, switching to cross-gen games and going to games with the native RT. First of all, I want to mention that I managed to undervolt the GPU. The GPU frequency is set to 1710 MHz on 800 mV. The memory frequency reached 8500 MHz, effectively bringing GPU to a stock level performance, allowing me to drop 5 to 6 degrees Celsius. I also tried overclocking the GPU. I managed to get 1830 MHz on 850 mV with the same memory overclock. Anyways, I'll test the GPU with the undervolt preset. An important remark: I tested every game in UWQ HD resolution using the DLSS quality preset, effectively making it really close to native 1080p. In fact, my resolution is 6% higher than Full HD, so you can add extra percents to performance. The first game on the test is Control. This game is fairly old, but it uses ray tracing. I used high graphics preset with medium ray tracing. Just take a look at that. You can easily see reflections on the metal or the glass. And people keep saying that RT is now needed. Speaking about performance, the game averages on 60 frames per second with some insignificant drops to 52 FPS. Going to Starfield. This game looks fantastic even on medium settings preset, averaging about 55 FPS in the interior and getting drops up to 50 FPS in the fight. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. With high settings preset, the game averages above 65 frames per second. The Last of Us Part 2. High settings, averaging above 75 frames per second. The next game is Cyberpunk 2077. I used custom preset. Most of the settings are set to high. I also enabled RT reflections. These dynamic reflections look marvelous, and I get average of 45 frames per second. Turning off RT reflections and using SSR on Cycle actually gives the similar performance, having much worse image stability. Turning off every setting connected to reflections, I get above 70 FPS. Nice and smooth. Finally, we can check the actual next-generation games. Alan Wake 2 High Settings preset allows to get average 50 FPS in the second location and average 40 FPS in the first location. I really want to mention that with these settings, game looks better than on PS5, still getting a better performance. Going to the games with native RT. No GTX and old RX cards invited to this party. Black Myth Wukong with high settings preset allows us to get average 50 frames per second with a fine image quality.
老天保佑金山银山前路有，老天教唆别管江湖龙虎斗，老天叮嘱这辈子我散不丢。 老天就怕346雷中打球，耶！魑魅魍魉总出现在秋收后，算账。魑魅魍魉总出现在秋收后，消灭。老天让我一棍铲除啮齿类，天数。第二棍附魔我打穿对家楼。
Finally, Doom the Dark Ages with high settings preset. The game hovers on the 60 frames per second level, rarely dropping to 55. Comparing the graphics to PS5, you should know that on console, SSR quality is much lower, as well as level of details. these are all the tests I wanted to show you. I believe that if you are looking for a cheap GPU that allows you to play all 9th gen games, you should take a look at this one. That's all for now. I'll see you next time.